what got you into Bitcoin in the first place?
The curiosity, what to do with my money. I was always a really savings personality. I have this one story where I was a small kid in undergraduate school. I don't know how it's called in the UK, but basically I was what I don't know, 10 years old or something like that, and I got pocket money every day from my mom. And the interesting thing is I got, I don't know, maybe €4, and from that €4 I always took out €1 or €2 to save a little bit each day to maybe and I didn't even want to buy anything. I was a somewhat spoiled kid. I had parents that if I really wanted something and needed it, then they gave it to me. If I needed a phone, I needed a gaming console or anything like that. I was not a poor child, but I always saved for myself. For some reason, really intrinsically, I knew I had to save. So when I got to the age of 18 years old, I already worked next to school. So I had a small job next to school where I worked, and I did not have to pay rent. I did not have to pay anything else than what I wanted to do outside of the normal things. So I basically saved 90% of my income, which allowed me with 18 years old to already think about investing, think about savings. And I started where everyone starts, with a savings account at the bank. But then I quickly realized that's not good. Then I went into ETFs and funds, and then I was like, oh, it's also not that good. You have a lot of fees. The developments are not that big. And I was like, okay, then individual stocks. I looked into individual stocks, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I did that for, I think, 3 years, 2-3 years. And then with 21 years old, I found Bitcoin. And this is basically because stocks went really good, people kept asking me about that Bitcoin thing. And I always said, Bitcoin is, for me, a scam. Bitcoin is something that has no cash flow. I was coming from the stock world. So if it has no cash flow, how can I measure it? Like, how do I know it's not a scam? Like the greater fool theory. And with that in mind, I one day got a friend of mine who was not even in Bitcoin. He came to me, why are you not into Bitcoin? Like, what's your reason? And I told him my reasoning, and he kept asking me, even though he was not in Bitcoin. And I discovered that I don't have good arguments. So I told him, wait, this weekend I will do research and I will show you why Bitcoin is a scam. In trying to prove that Bitcoin is a scam, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I discovered there might be something to Bitcoin. Like maybe there is something that I've missed. So actually on Monday, instead of writing my friend, hey, this is a scam because of XYZ, I opened a Coinbase account and bought a ledger on day one. I had always self-custody. I'm really proud to say I have self-custody from day one onwards. And then I'm not proud that I chose a ledger, and also not proud to choose Coinbase. But
Coinbase,
at least I had self-custody from day one. And this basically allowed me from to learn a little bit about Bitcoin. I was still very skeptical. It was not that, all of a sudden I get Bitcoin and went all in. No, it took me about, I would say, a year from discovering Bitcoin to going all in. And this was quite a journey. You discover Bitcoin and you learn a little bit. And then there's this weekend where you go down 3-4 podcasts. And the next weekend it's like 4 or 5 podcasts. And the next weekend is like 6-7 podcasts. You go down that rabbit hole, and it just keeps sucking you in more and more. And more I got that idea of, oh wait, inflation might not be good. Is inflation a bad thing maybe? And then you get in the idea of, okay, gold apparently also is a good money. I thought gold is bad. When you're I was in stock mind so deep, in this one Buffett mindset so deep, that I did not like gold. Through Bitcoin, I learned the value of gold. So coming through that journey, I learned more and more what Bitcoin actually is and what it represents and what monetary theory really is. It's also funny. I'm Austrian. I never heard about Austrian economics. And when I first got into Bitcoin, everyone was talking about Austrian economics. And I was like, there's nothing interesting about Austria in the economic sense. Like, why are they talking about Austrian economics? And I was Googling it. Then I finally found out, oh, it's not about the current Austrian economics. And yeah, it just took me then 1 year to get all in Bitcoin, and got out of my Tesla position, got out of my Facebook position, got out of all my stock portfolio positions. And I even wanted to get into real estate, and completely went out of that. I never really went into real estate, but Bitcoin kind of prevented me to diversify in real estate. Before I discovered Bitcoin, I slowly planned of acquiring my first small real estate property to rent it out as an investment property. And luckily, I never did that. Otherwise, I would have a lot of headache with with tenants and all those things, and repairing toilets and whatever you're doing with when you're a landlord.
Yeah. So you're 100% Bitcoin then?
Yes, and this is something that I actually did, I think, just 2 months ago. I also now earn in Bitcoin through the Bitcoin podcast. I have Bitcoin partners. This allows me to directly earn in Bitcoin. So from company directly to me without any third parties in between. And I have a small percentage, like one of the 3 freelancers I pay also in Bitcoin. So there's a percentage that I earn in Bitcoin and a percentage that I earn in fiat. Then there's a small percentage that I pay in Bitcoin, and a small percent and a big percentage that I pay in fiat, which forces me to spend Bitcoin every month. I have to sell Bitcoin basically every month, which hurts, but you have to come to the realization it's not about buying or selling Bitcoin. It's about getting a little bit more sats every month. It does not matter if you it does not matter if you buy 2,000 satoshis this month, or you buy 10,000 satoshis and sell 8,000. It's the same freaking thing.
Yeah.
But this was really hard for me to come over, that I can spend my Bitcoin, that it's okay to press the sell button. I don't have to I don't have to now go into debt and have a big credit line. I can really just spend the Bitcoin that I earn, because Bitcoin is money and it's supposed to be used as money. So yes, I'm 100% in Bitcoin. I have a overdraft bank account. So whenever I have to spend, I go in overdraft. End of the month, I'm paying off the overdraft with the money I earn.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Is how do the government in Austria or the banks, are they dovish on Bitcoin transactions, or do you find that there's a bit of friction with it? Because over here in the UK, it's really, really difficult to try and transact in Bitcoin. Not that anybody really spends Bitcoin in the UK, but it's kind of hard, and we have had a lot of friction with banks closing down accounts and just making it generally very, very difficult.
There are 2 sides to the story. The one side is I'm at a challenger bank. I'm at a bank that is quite new. It's not a bank that's there for hundreds of years. The bank was founded, I think, 10 years ago. It has the normal bank license and everything like that. But when you look at the management team, there are 1 or 2 Bitcoiners or crypto people in there. So they're a little bit more open to the idea. You can buy and sell Bitcoin at that bank also, even though you cannot withdraw it, but at least they have the option to buy and sell Bitcoin and other cryptos. So they're completely normal with it. They if there's a Bitcoin in the transaction description, they don't do anything fishy with that, and I never had any problems. I have third-party tools like Bull Bitcoin and Bring In, where I can go from my hardware wallet to my fiat bank account, N26 I use, within 5 minutes. So basically, Bring In, for example, gives me a Bitcoin invoice. I pay that Bitcoin invoice. They are converting it to fiat euros, and they, with instant SEPA, I get the money on my bank account. So I can convert on my self-custody setup to my fiat bank account, Bitcoin, no matter what the amount is, directly to my bank account with no friction at all on Sunday afternoon or evening, which is amazing. So actually, in that sense, Bitcoin and the fiat banking system works really good together. Like that's the one part of the story. But there's another part of the story. I worked in Germany for 1.5 years, and there I got to know that my bank account, the same bank account from N26, is flagged because apparently my bank account does not discriminate me, but other bank accounts discriminate me. So when my employer in the first month wanted to pay me, I said to him, "Oh, I did not get my money," and he's like, "Oh, that's weird. I gave it to you." And then they looked at the transaction; it failed. And they called the bank of like, "Hey, why did this transaction fail?" And the bank told them, "Yeah, that's a fishy bank account you're transferring money to, and we won't allow that." And
It's for your protection.
it's for your protection. And the CEO said, "I know this guy. He works for me. Please transfer him money. Otherwise, I'm not legally like he worked
Yeah,
already for me. He needs
right.
money." Then eventually they made an exception. So they like, okay, if you fill out that form and give a signature that you really like to send him money, then you can send him money. So I got to know that because of my Bitcoin activities, got flagged. I never got really into problems because of that. It just was a little bit inconvenient. My boss is a really cool one, and he knows about all the Bitcoin things. My previous boss, I don't have it anymore, of course. And he was just asking, "Oh, like, do you do anything outside of Bitcoin also, or just just buying Bitcoin?" I was like, "Just buying Bitcoin." So I personally never got really into troubles. But I would say that from those two stories I just told, choose your bank wisely. Like find a bank that is a little bit more modern, a little bit newer. There are banks that offer Bitcoin and crypto. Just use them. Like go for those banks that actually support the mission, embrace Bitcoin and crypto, and with those you will have less problems. I'm not saying you have zero problems. As I told you, I had problems, small one, but still. And I think that's where the game theory also starts, because there are younger banks, there are modern banks, there's community banks that already embrace it. Also in Germany, there's the Volksbank Bayern Mitte, and they are not only embracing Bitcoin, you can buy and sell Bitcoin there, they're even holding one of the biggest German Bitcoin-only conferences in Germany. There are like 1,000 people there, and they support that whole thing. And they are a normal community bank that's there for what is it, hundreds of years, something like that. It's a really normal kind of community bank, but it's only one region. It's not the whole bank of Germany. So there are instances of fiat banks that are really friendly to Bitcoin, and I'm just saying, find those banks, give them your money if you have to give them your money. But if you if you go completely out of fiat, that's best case. But if you have to interact with the fiat system, try to interact with those people who get Bitcoin. And that's the whole game theory, because if all the customers going to those banks, the other banks will be like, "Oh shit, we are losing customers because we do not offer Bitcoin." They will wake up. They will wake up if if the CFO of the bank says, "Why we keep losing customers? Why is our customer numbers going down and down and down and down?" Then they are asking customers why they're leaving. And I get the Bitcoin. Oh, I guess we have to offer that now. So I encourage everyone, vote with their feet and leave the banks that don't treat you good, because most likely there's a bank that treats you good.
Yeah, it's interesting that Germany are kind of embracing it, because you would think, and this is from my perhaps biased or skewed point of view about the German culture, is they seem to be very what's the word I'm looking for? Uptight is the wrong word, but like they're really bureaucratic or structured, and then to throw in a red herring like Bitcoin into that banking system, you just sort of think, well, that's a bit un-German-like. But clearly they're clearly far more on board than the UK. It's absolute nightmare over here at the moment. And I think it's only going to get worse.
Thank you for watching this video. This was only a snippet of the podcast. And if you want to watch the full episode and get all of the context of this episode, you can click right here or here. Oh, maybe also here.